to say, oh, I know this person. You can call this other person and you say, oh, I know this other Dekemp. So there's unity. Unity is our binding cord. And because of this unity that we have together, we can tell of a truth. Success is close for us. Success is close for us to achieve. At Dekemp, success is an enormous word for us. It's a word that we use to celebrate each other. That little win you think is little, don't worry. At Dekemp, it is big for us to celebrate. And when we succeed, hey, we're winners. So, of course, we also saw the winning monologue, and everybody was fascinated about the fact that as we're succeeding, we're winning. And just like yesterday, our speaker made us understand that if you can be focused about what you're doing, even as being strategic about it, you're a winner. It depends on what you tell yourself. And being a winner, today is day 6. Guess what our core value will be today? It's that driving force. When you have that consistency, when you have that driving force, you must possess this value we call passion. So I leave you in the hands of Chibuzo as he gives us our passion monologue today.
Thank you, Tema. I'm actually at the back end today, so I would play the monologue on passion.
Okay, that's fine. Enjoy.
Okay, now I share.
Passion, the fuel that ignites process over results. The passion we have for achieving our desired goals enables us to embrace failure as a lesson and love the journey to success. The great man envisaged. Passion moves men beyond themselves, beyond their shortcomings, beyond their failures. At Dekemp, passion is our steering force. We recall our roots, our dreams, and press on, remembering our passion must breed process over results. A rejection will come, 2 might be announced, 10 might be recorded, but that one yes singles us out. At the camp, we keep loving the process, pressing on, knowing until our yes come, we have a work in progress.
Okay, so I would continue sharing my screen, and I think we have Promise, who is the co-moderator today, and she would be introducing our guest speaker for today. So Promise, you can unmute.
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor. And it's a privilege to be here. We are really excited about this Dekemp anniversary, and I'm so happy about the value that we'll all be getting and receiving so far. Yeah, so I'll be introducing the speaker. The speaker is no other person than Engineer Judith Igbocha, World Engineer at Shell. And today she'll be sharing with us strategies to consolidate on past successes for future pursuits. And this is a very interesting topic. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Okay, great. So I'll be reading a brief summary of our speaker's achievements and just some kind of introduction about who she is. So Judith Egbocha is a registered chemical engineer with the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN. She works as a well engineer with the Royal Dutch Shell. She's committed to lifelong learning, teaching, community, and community service. Judith graduated with a BA Chemical Engineering, a first class from the Federal University of Technology, Owerri, that's popularly known as FUTO, after which she worked briefly before commencing a master's program with the Institute of Petroleum Studies, the University of Port Harcourt, and IFP in France. Upon completing this program, she was awarded MSc Petroleum Engineering and Project Development. She actually finished a distinction. So subsequently, she commenced working for Shell as a training well engineer. Over 7 years at Shell, she became a certified software engineer and bagged an MBA with IE Business School, Madrid. Currently, she is a full-time doctoral student at the Memorial University of Newfoundland. To give back, Judith has supported and coached different undergraduate students. She has also assisted some doctoral students in assessing research data. Wow, these are all lot. Let's give it up, guys, for Engineer Judith Egbocha. Welcome. Yeah, so I would like to quickly add that you have 40 minutes for the presentation, and we're so excited. We look forward to hearing your voice. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'm quite excited to be here. I think you're doing a very fantastic job, and I'm very happy. I think you're very fortunate to have this at this time. I mean, having a community that's committed to helping everyone succeed and win. Because typically, some persons, when they've won or when they've got what they want, they'll move along. They'll say, well, it's your business. I don't care about you. But here I see a group of people who want to grow and who want others to grow alongside them. So I think it's a fantastic opportunity, and many of us didn't quite have. So I'm quite excited to be here. I'll be starting up with sharing my screen, and I want to thank Dr. Kekechi for inviting me. It's an honor to be here. Please let me know if you see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. I'm trying to do a slideshow. I'm doing a slideshow. Can you see that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. So thank you again. So today I will be having a conversation. Actually, I want this to be more of a conversation, and we'll be talking about how to consolidate successes. And I mean, what I've done or what I've achieved pales in comparison to what many other persons have achieved. So for me, success is relative. It's about what we set out to achieve, and it's about whether we are achieving or delivering on our set objective. So it's not really about me measuring myself against another person's success. It's about measuring myself against my own plan, and if I'm able to achieve what I set out to achieve, and if there were changes along the way, if things turn around, am I willing, am I resilient enough to adjust to changing circumstances? So I'm going to the second slide. Okay. Just a moment.
Yes, we are still on the first slide.
Okay, that's cool. I had a secondary monitor, so okay. So we will be discussing, and the overview, we need to define some terms, and there's the Menti survey I have somewhere, and we'll use that to receive feedback from us. Then we'll find out what the attributes and then we'll see what deliberate steps we need to take to sustain whatever successes we've achieved in the past, and we'll summarize this conversation. So like I said, I would like to get your feedback as we go along the journey. Please feel free to type in. If you want to stop, just stop, pop up your hand, and then we'll take the feedback. And we will be having more of a conversation, because I believe everyone has something to say. I'm not going to talk like I know everything, because over our life, we've come to have an idea about what success is. Maybe we're getting to hear the same thing said in different ways, but on the whole, we know something, you know, a thing or two about success, and we've achieved successes in our own right. So this will be more of a conversation. But according to Socrates, the beginning of wisdom is the definition of terms. So for us to start off this conversation, we need to find out what exactly are some terms in this expression. So we have consolidate. So consolidate means to make firm or to secure, to strengthen our position. So we want to consolidate on what we've achieved. We want to grow. If you notice that on my first slide, I showed something. I just want to go back to it. I showed this, and this is a progression of growth. So as the years pass by, we are growing. And as we're growing, we're learning things and we're trying to go from one stage to another. We were once in primary school, before then we're in nursery, and after primary, we're in secondary, progressed. So at each stage of our life, what sort of progress are we making? What sort of goals are we setting? And are we meeting those objectives? So we never really stop learning. I think humans keep learning all through their lives. Some persons probably decide to stop. Learning doesn't necessarily mean that we only have to do it in a university or in a classroom. It's all through our life. Success is all through our life. So it depends on how we define success and how we take that all through our lives. So for pursuit is an activity that one engages in as a vocation or as a profession or an avocation. So it's sort of your occupation. One's pursuit can be educational, it can be things in academia, in the industry, it can even be building a home as a homemaker, as a mother, as a father. It can be being someone who is in public service, someone who is in religious calling. So it could be anything we decide to spend our lives doing. But the important thing is whatever we decided to devote our lives to, are we working at it wholesome? Are we delivering all we can deliver to humankind and to this community? So whatever we decide to do, whatever we decide to have as our pursuit, it's our personal prerogative. And whatever we decide, we have to give our best to it. So for this survey, please, I'd like us to go to www.menti.com and use this code. So I would go back to Mentimeter and then share the survey. I'm hoping this survey will take maybe 2 to 3 minutes. It's just one question, there are 2 questions. So it's sort of a short presentation because this is a free version. So I couldn't go beyond 2 questions. So I would be going over to that to share the screen. Please confirm if you, kindly confirm if you've got this code before I exit the screen. Please, you can unmute and confirm you've got the code 61280-2050.
You can use the chat to confirm.
Okay. Okay, let me just type this into the chat. So I will be going to share the survey just to. So if you want to use, if you have a meeting and you want to get real-time feedback, I'm sure many of us know to use Mentimeter. So it's something that's been fairly used. The free version, it's limited, you can level up. So here I have the first question. What 4 things show a successful person in your culture? I would have said our culture, but we identify with different cultures. So in your own culture, what 4 things show a successful person? Okay.
Judith, for some reason, I'm not able to sign in with that code.
Oh, you're not? Okay, let me refresh the survey and see if it's changed. Yeah, it's still, okay, 6128-2050.
It's 350, not 250.
No, 2050. What did I type? Let me confirm what I typed in the chat. But,
so is the code on the slide correct?
Just a moment, please. Oh, no, sorry, apologies. It's a typo. It's not that long.
Yeah, I was also quite surprised with the length.
You're right. It's 6128-2050, actually. Apologies.
6128-2050.
Yes.
Yes, this one works.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Thanks for indicating it. we're done with this, I could go to the next question, which says, when you evaluate where you are, what can you count as your top 3 successes? This survey is anonymous, so I wouldn't know who typed what. Please feel free to type in. I'll stay on this for 3 more minutes before we go to the next one, because I think you're able to see the next question when I present it. So maybe I'll stay on this for 2-3 minutes. But I'm seeing things, yeah, we see wealth, yes, influence, money, education, tenacity, consistency, political power, achievement, happiness, sense of fulfillment, commitment, resilience, academic successes, yes. We see businesses, if we have successful businesses, people deem this as success. And in fact, the very big one is influence. It seems to resonate across. And I might explain why it's in big font. Okay, for the sake of time, I would go to the next one. Yes, okay. Yes, so we've had, exactly. So we've achieved some successes, riding maybe on our educational pursuits or our spiritual achievements or our masters or bachelor's jobs. We've got a number of achievements, a number of successes. So this goes to buttress what I said earlier, that we've all had successes, right? So each person's success may vary slightly from the other person's, but the point is we've all had successes. So this topic is quite important. How do we consolidate? How do we go forward? How do we, ride on the successes we've achieved, and how do we make new strides? So I would exit this now. Thank you for the feedback, and go back to the presentation. Okay, so thank you very much. So on slide 5, what are the attributes of success? This slide is just a recap of what we've seen already. Attributes of success. It can be wealth or fame, which we've shown, successful career, family, and others. So going forward, this presentation will focus on making the most of our secular careers. So not really on our spiritual advancement. All those are reserved to our spiritual leaders, all these philosophical things, I'll leave them out of this conversation, but we know that they actually affect our well-being. But going forward, we'll sort of focus on secular careers, whether it's in academia or it's in industry. So what deliberate steps can we take to succeed? Just jumping right into it. First of all, we need to sit back and say, we need to take stock, right? We take stock of where we are, of what we've achieved so far. And that's sort of what we saw on the second slide. Many of us were able to type in things we've achieved so far. So it's like taking stock. This is where we are. Then we set SMART goals. And again, what are SMART goals? We will find that down as we continue the presentation. We evaluate for these goals we've set. What do we need to achieve then? What steps are we taking? If we see that we don't have all the resources we need to achieve these goals, let's say I want to do a master's or want to do a PhD, what do I need to do this PhD? Do I want to do it in Nigeria? Do I want to do it abroad? What are my considerations? What do I want to have at the end of this pursuit? That's what it means by setting goals. And when do I want to achieve this? Do I stop to celebrate wins? Like it's been said earlier and before I started, we need to celebrate our wins, no matter how small. We need to sometimes step back, kick our feet up, and then just be happy and say, God, I achieved something. Even if it's that little thing. When we celebrate this thing, it sort of helps us to be able to reaffirm to ourselves our values, to confirm the work we've been doing, and we wouldn't feel depressed. So we need to celebrate our wins, we need to evaluate our progress, and then implement the feedbacks we get. Open to changes along the journey. Sometimes we start out one way and then when I began out, I actually wanted to have a PhD in oil and gas, a PhD in chemical engineering at the end of the day. I started out, I said I wanted to do a PhD in chemical engineering, second degree chemical engineering, first degree. I was very set in that way. And I made some decisions because I wanted to, follow that route. But as the journey progressed, I had to sort of open my mind to some changes. And the thing that remained central was what my final objective was going to be. So sometimes we need to tweak a thing or two about our plans, but the important thing is if we hold on to the important things in our lives, and then we need to also reach out for support. And if we get this support, we need to be grateful for the support. So I put this picture here. It's the picture that is used in management framework: plan, do, check, and act. So we plan what we want to do, we do it, we check the progress of what we've done against what we plan to do, and then we act on this progress. So this is a cycle of feedback, the cycle of progression. So these pictures, you can see them on Google. So at the end of the presentation, you see a reference to the sources of this picture, but I put them here for us to visualize the cycle of continuous improvement. So this is actually what people invoke on it when they want to do continuous improvement. So our topic sort of revolves around continuous improvement. We don't want to sit on what we've achieved, but we want to keep making steady progress, no matter how small the increments are. So like I said, taking stock. Take pride in how far you've come. Even if it's the first degree you've done, that's a great deal. Even if you're in second year, third year, sometimes we are in second year and we feel like, are we ever going to leave this school at all in this life? Or we feel like, God, this is so long. I'm seeing someone in final year. I wish I were in final year. But then we're going to get to final year. And remember, someone has been eyeing our second year position and wish, oh, if I were in university. So at every point we're in life, we need to appreciate that point. We need to take stock. We need to be grateful for how far we've come. It doesn't matter whether people have got like 3 or 5, 6 PhDs and we're still trying to get admission to university. We need to acknowledge our own reality and then aspire for something higher too. But the main point is taking pride in how far we've come and having faith that we can actually go farther than where we are. But like it's been said already, process over result. That is encapsulated in this last comment, which is don't forget to enjoy the journey. We should not be so engrossed. I want to get to Lagos. Oh my God, I want to go from Port Harcourt to Lagos. But then I'm driving and I see these beautiful scenarios along the way. I see the landscape. It's like an endless view of very good vegetation. I refuse, or I don't see it. I don't admire that because I'm focused on going to Lagos. But the point is we can actually make the best of our journey along the way. And at every point, we appreciate the little things that life offers us. Even this seminar, we appreciate that people take our time, to enrich our life. So the little things along the journey, we can actually enjoy it. It makes our experience all the more better. Our experience is what matters. We might go from A to B, but if we had a bad experience going from A to B, it might not be worth it. But if we enjoy ourselves as we're going from A to B, something we would always look back and say, oh my goodness, it was a wonderful experience. My master's was a great experience. And okay, so that's true for me. My master's was great because my classmates, they were awesome people. I still keep in touch with them. But the point wasn't just about getting the master's, it's about getting the master's with a group of people you've come to, build connection with, you've come to grow with, and you're looking forward to them being something in the future. So the point is, at every point, even when we're dealing with people, we shouldn't really have a very transactional relationship and say, oh, it doesn't matter. Let me just give this person and then move along. I don't care about you. No, that's a very bad way to think. We need to be able to enrich people's lives. We need to be able to help them and appreciate when they help us. So that way, as we're growing, we're able to have this network. I mean, Dr. Casey said, I've not seen him for so many years, but I know when I called on him for something, I was confident he would respond to me because I had a good experience with him. I bet he did too. Because, when we meet people, we need to have good experience. And that's sort of what I mean by this journey. It doesn't always mean that if we have bad experience with people, it's our fault. Sometimes some people are not so good, right? But we need to take deliberate steps to make sure that we don't step on people's head because we want to succeed. We don't want to use people to get ahead. That's not quite correct. But we need to build this organic relationship. And that's a way of building our network as we all grow. We don't want to get to the top and realize that we've burnt all the bridges, or that we've just cut off all the ladders and we can't, see anybody around us. So just going down from there, for some self-reflection questions, where did your younger self envision you be today? And are you at that spot? If you're at that spot that your younger self thought you would be, do you remember what helped you? And if you're not there yet, that's no problem, Like I said, it can take some details as you go along the way. If you're not there, what can you do differently? So this, I would give us like 30 seconds to just think about it, ruminate over it. You don't have to give me a response. You can have it in your head. That's why it's self-reflection, but just think about it. So it's about taking stock. And the next one is, why do we set goals? To get started, you have to have a destination. So if we want to get to our destination, we need to set goals. Sometimes it's difficult, right? Trying to figure out what goals to set. Sometimes we say, okay, because we see people graduate, go to graduate school, automatically I want to go to graduate school. That's good. But sometimes too, we don't always have an idea, clear idea what we want to do. It's very true. Some of us are first generation graduates. Maybe our parents didn't go to university, or we don't have elder brothers, or they are in different direction in life and we don't have. So sometimes we need to actively seek out mentors. We need to actively seek out people we admire. If there's something they're doing and want to do it, we need to learn how they're doing it and reach out to them. Maybe from their experience, we're able to set realistic goals that will help us. But the point is, sometimes we need to tap into external inspiration or external sources for inspiration. We might have an idea what we want, but sometimes we might not know exactly how to get there. So we shouldn't be ashamed to reach out to people. We can only get no, right? Sometimes people are so busy and they don't always respond to us. We can get no. Maybe you can buzz me and then I'm not able to respond to you. It doesn't mean that, oh, Judith is now a horrible person. But the point is, maybe people are not able to always get back to us because there are certain stages in their life. But then they can also reach out to us if circumstances change. But the point is, for our ideas on what goals to set, we can reach out to mentors, we can ask people for ideas, we can tap into our personal experiences, and that way we're able to know what goals to set. And our goals are not supposed to be static. Our goals should be changing. So for example, we can look into the society and say, oh, things are going to change. There's going to be a lot of focus on data analysis, on Bitcoin and all these new things. All these are coming, and then we say, how do we position ourselves to be relevant in the future? Okay, what if I take some courses? That's a goal. It might be a 3-month course, it might be 2-month course, and then I say, okay, I don't have money for the course. What can I do? Are there scholarships? Is someone able to sponsor me? We're able to look around our scenario and say, okay, what is the society demanding at this point in time? And how can I position myself to give back to society? Because sometimes society is willing to pay for problems we help solve. If we don't solve any problem, society probably will not give us any money. So we need to keep looking around for inspirations so we'll be able to know what goals to set. And our goals shouldn't be limited. Sometimes we say, oh, I want to school abroad, but I don't have money. There's no point in doing it. Okay, I want to work in another company, but I don't know anybody there. There's no point. Let me leave it. But we may not always, sometimes some of us have, very rich parents that take us to the UK or take us to, it's a very good school in Nigeria, or even a very good public school in Nigeria. We have those things. But what if we don't have? But then we also have scholarships, right? We also have people who are willing to help us find scholarships and apply for them. And we have people whose experiences can help us. And that's why many of us are in this organization, this group. So the point is, we need to always keep dreaming, keep looking for goals. And at first, we shouldn't limit ourselves on our goals. We should do everything legally possible to achieve our goals, even if it means reaching out for support from friends or from well-wishers. And then we can, of course, phase our goals. We might not be able to achieve our goals in one run, but we can have short-term goals, medium-term goals, and we can have long-term goals. So that way, we always have this blueprint to keep our eyes on. And if things change, of course, we change our goals. So, like I mentioned, we set SMART goals. SMART is a well-used acronym, meaning specific, achievable, okay, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. So I want to go do a graduate program. I say, I want to do a master's. Okay, that is a goal, but what if I say, you know what, I want to do a master's program in this, say data science, in this university, at this point, maybe in next 2 years, and I want to do it for 2 years, right? Yes, so it sort of constrains me. So I have an idea, but then how can I decide on the school to go to? I must have done my research. I must have talked to people. I must have checked online for ratings. I have an idea what sort of school I'm going to. I can also say, oh, I want to work for an IOC, for an international oil company, or work for a very good multinational, or work for a very good national company in Nigeria. But then how do I get it? I don't have anybody. But what if I start going to their websites? What if I start looking for them to say, what do they really do? What problems are they solving? What if I go for, say, exhibitions, all these conferences, I go to their booths and I see their exhibition. For example, the SP conference is on now. It's going to be on from 2nd to 4th of August. Some companies come there with the exhibition booth. They might not be employing instantly, right? But we can come and hear about them, or we can go to the website that's cheap as doing that. So the point is, we need to actively seek information to help us set realistic goals. Sample goals can be graduate school, graduate entry job, career progression. We might be at a job and we think, I'm not making real progress. 10 years from now, I don't want to be stuck on this job. So the question is, what extra certificates do I need to get? Do I have money for them? What if I take a mentor? What if I go to be coached? How can I really enrich myself to show my employer that I can actually bring a lot more to the table than he's willing to pay me for? So sometimes when we're able to spend time on ourselves and build ourselves, we can actually become very valuable to just not the employer, to even valuable to the industry. I prefer we're valuable to the industry, because if you're valuable to the industry, the employer will see a reason to retain you or to even want to keep you or progress you. But sometimes when our value just resides our employer, sometimes we might be at their mercy. So like in Nigeria again, some people who might be, petroleum engineers might end up being active in SP, and you see them, you hear about them in the SP, you hear about them in NAPE, you hear about them in so many places, and you see that they're able to build their sphere of influence, they're able to network outside their company, and whatever they learn outside, they take it back to their company, and what they learn from their company, take it outside. So you're able to, help bring value to both the company and to the people outside the company. So it's about seeking to always give value. I think the mantra should always be, what value am I bringing to the table? What value do I bring to the table? If I am getting married, sorry, I say I'm not going to go into this sphere, but if I'm going to get married, what value am I bringing to the table as a mother? What value am I bringing as a wife? What am I bringing to the table? Sometimes we can get away with taking for so long, right? But we can't keep taking and taking and taking without people feeling used. So we need to actively think of how to bring value. That helps us sustain relationships, build meaningful ones, and we're able to bring value to the people we relate with. So we've set our goals, we've made sure they are smart, then we're evaluating what resources we need. Do I need funds? Do I need information? Do I need a network? Do I need time? Yes, of course, time is a very valuable resource. For example, if you want to apply for a graduate school, schools have their period of application, right? There's a period you apply, they have deadlines. So the question is, what school do I want to apply to? What's their admission criteria? What are the admission criteria? Have I confirmed that? Have I written to the school? Do I know what I need to do to apply for this program? And for example, if you want to go to Harvard Business School, which is not impossible, right? If you go there now, you see some classes are filled, class of say 2023 is filled already, and they are taking applications for class of 2024. So MBA of 2024. The question is, what do you need to do? You need to write a GRE or a GMAT, you need to, and for you to write GMAT, it's working backward. So when do I write the GMAT? When will it be ready? How much do I need to write it? What resources do I need? What sort of score would the school even need for me to have a shot, at getting admission. Then if I finish writing, I pass, I then do the application. But next thing is, how do I get money? So which companies or which foundations are sponsoring people to do an MBA in Harvard? Oh, what if I'm from a minority group? Can I get a scholarship? What if I go there? What's available? So the point is, we can think of different goals and start working the scenarios. Some of them might be out of our reach for now, but as things change in the future, we get there. When I started out, I probably didn't know I would be able to afford an MBA in the school I went to. But the point is, over time, maybe my circumstance changed and I'm able to. And if I wasn't able to afford that MBA, maybe I would have made a different decision. But the point is, sometimes when we keep working, we're able to, get access to other resources that will help us further build ourselves. So we need to keep going forward. We need to keep evaluating. And when we don't look, we don't even see the opportunities that pass us by. So it's about constantly evaluating the opportunities. And when I tell you that the IPS I went to, when I went for it was on fully funded position, it was a scholarship. I didn't know about that actually. When I applied, I wanted to go to IPS. I didn't know about the scholarship. I just said, I'm going for IPS. And then when I got the offer letter and I saw them, I'm like, can I afford this? I don't have this money. Then I called my lecturer and he told me, oh, I have this lady that went to IPS. She finished from Futo. Let me talk to her. He called the lady. She said, oh, it's scholarship. You don't have to pay anything, just acceptance fee. And I'm like, wow, my mother was excited. And I was very excited. So I just realized that, oh, what if I didn't apply for that position? I wouldn't have even known that there was a scholarship. And when I started, maybe I wouldn't even have known how to pay, but I kept going and I feel we just keep going. At some point, we get something. We just keep pushing. It's about, keeping our eyes open for opportunities and trying to evaluate them as they come along and trying to make the best out of what we have. So if we identify gaps, like fund, like I mentioned, fund time and all those, what gaps, what can we do to bridge these gaps? So, like I said, personal savings, family support, scholarship, grants, student loans, fellowship, all those are available. You'll be surprised how much scholarship or how much grant is available for study. Sometimes we don't know about them and we think they don't exist, but they do exist. Sometimes you get emails telling you, oh, there's a scholarship to apply for and all that. They are there. But the point is we need to work, we need to show, get to a place where we're able to see these things. Sometimes we might not be able to see until we're shown. So we need to take deliberate steps to reach out to people that know. And mentorship, like this organization, coaching, membership in professional organizations, membership in even your alumni organization. And that's what I said earlier. We need to build and enrich our relationships. We need to see our relationships not just transactional. We need to see them as a way to add value. That's the only way we can maintain relationships as the years pass by. We don't always have to think, oh, what will it give me? What's there for me? Sometimes there's nothing in it for us, but sometimes we do it because it's the right thing to do. If we do things because they are the right things to do, then we are happy. And then the people we did those people will be happy to maybe give back to us. Or sometimes they may not even be able to give back, but we're happy that we've given, right? So it's about building meaningful relationships. That cannot be overestimated. I know most times we want to just take, but we need to build meaningful relationships where we can at least give and add value to the person. So time management skills, for example, the deadlines of universities. If you see a job application or job advert and there's a deadline, please, let's try to stick to deadline. We don't have to wait until 23:59 of the deadline. So we say, it's just at the nick of time. That time might happen. A lot of other people might be waiting for the nick of time and then they're not able to apply and then the system crashed the last minute. I'm unable to put an application. So we need to be able to manage our time. If I see a scholarship advert and I look through it and say, okay, what do I need? It might need me to get a reference letter, it might need me to get a couple of things. Then I start thinking, who will have a goodwill to give me a reference letter? I need to be able to call the person and say, please, I need to give a reference letter. Is it required for this scholarship? Will you be able to do it? And I also need to acknowledge that these people have their own schedule. So if I give them sufficient time ahead of the deadline and I provide them with all the information they need, it's easier for them to do it without feeling pressured. We don't want to make people feel pressured when they're helping us. they are going out of their way to help us. We shouldn't feel entitled. I mean, you need to help me. You've arrived. Why don't you want to help me? If we have that mindset, it's a very negative one. People might be forced to help us the first time, but the other time they'll avoid us like, well, forgive me, play. But we need to make people enjoy helping us. We need to be able to make people feel, oh my goodness, I'm happy this person reached out to me for help. Then as we go along this journey, sometimes we have failures, many times we have failures. We might have rejection, or might not have the resources to do what we want to do. But at any point where we fail, how do we evaluate it? Failure can be crushing. I will tell you, it can be very, very crushing. But the point is, how do we pick up ourselves, psych ourselves up and move along again? We need to be able to build a network. Who do I call to? Who do I call out? Who do I talk to? Do I need to talk to my mom, my dad, my siblings, or even a professional, maybe a psychologist or something? We need to talk to someone if we feel down. Some of those persons who might be like our figurative cheerleaders, they will just cheer us up. Don't worry, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. And when they tell us we can do it, then we feel reinvigorated and we can pick ourselves up and keep moving. So let's not think that we're always going to have these very rosy. Sometimes we can go high and then we fall again. We just have to keep falling and rising, keep going. If we fall, we rise. But we need to know the support we can call on if we feel down. So now it's time to act. We've talked about knowing what goals to set, setting the goals, looking for resources, reaching out for help and all this. The Chinese proverb is, talk does not keep price, right? If I have an exam to write, I have to sit down and study for the exam. Doesn't matter what I say I want to get an A. If I don't study for the exam, if I don't go to classes, if I don't do what I need to do the exam or do the assignments when they are due to be done, then I probably wouldn't pass the exam. And like I said, we're doing everything legally possible. This is not an endorsement of illegal shortcuts. So we need to do everything legally possible. And remember, we need to be people who are consistent. Our actions and our actions need to be consistent with what we're saying, right? So we need to know that talk does not cook rice. I just like this because, yes, no matter how much I say I want to cook rice, if I talk and I don't do the actual work, the rice is not cooked. So, and remember, success is a process, not an event. So every time we fail, our failure becomes a source of learning. We might have to try something over and over and over and over again until we get it. And when we get it, we feel very happy. So there's a picture here showing an iceberg. So the iceberg, I mean, many of us might know what iceberg is, but you see here is the block of ice, and this is river. So a river in an ocean. So what people see is a success. So typically about 10% of the iceberg is above the water, 90% is below, right? So the same with success. What people see, oh, this person succeeded. For a person that succeeded through the right way, this person succeeded. But then they don't see the stories of failure, of setbacks and naysayers. And sometimes we go to LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great place to be. I like it because I'm inspired by what people are doing. Sometimes some people will say, oh, LinkedIn is very intimidating. Yeah, it might be, right? If we're comparing ourselves with other persons, we might be intimidated. But like I said, each person's success should be weighed against their set objective and their own circumstances. So if we go to LinkedIn, we see success stories. Sometimes we don't know that behind those stories, people have had to toil and work hard and get so many negative responses and had to make sacrifices. So when we are working, we need to acknowledge that at the end of the day, people will see success, but we know what we put in to get to that success. And as we working, we need to be proud of the effort we're making. We need to be open to receiving help if we're offered help, and we need to be able to ask for help. We shouldn't be too arrogant to say, oh, I can do it. Nobody knows everything, right? If we ask for help, it doesn't mean that we don't know what we're doing. It just means that we are vulnerable. We're able to admit that we need support. So we just need to be able to ask for help when we need it. And to sustain growth, we just have to like this picture says, I like it, progress. It's just keep going. Keep your eyes on the prize. Keep following the roadmap that you've developed. Just keep working, keep working, keep working. Little by little, little by little, little by little, we've had to spend time, you know. The person that is a CEO of a company probably had to have spent time, you know, get some education, get some work experience, and probably had to go to, you know, intern with someone, do some business education and all of those. But what we see at the end of the day is maybe some 10, 15 minutes, 15 years later, he's a CEO. Even if he has his own company, he has to also have spent sleepless nights to build the company before he'll become a CEO. So at every point in time, people have had to make some sacrifices to be where they are. They've had to work. So if we decided on what we want to achieve, then let's put in the work and take a day at a time. So we don't need to be overwhelmed. We don't need to give ourselves impossible targets. We need to be realistic with what's available to us and all those. While we dream big, we need to also be able to face, you know, convert our dreams to goals, concrete steps, things we can do and face it. If you can't achieve it in one big block of time, we can face it. So that way we grow gradually. Maybe if you see a linear curve, you can see a curve, the slope might be 5, and that one, the slope might be 3, and that one, the slope might be 2, right? At the end of the day, we may end up getting to the same value. Maybe not the same value, but it's about, yeah, it's possible. Because if you have a slope of 6, right, and you stop earlier than the guy that has a slope of 3, the guy that has a slope of 3 might spend more time. Let me just convert this to like a speed. You're driving, I'm driving with 100 kilometers an hour, and you're driving with 50. I will get to my destination fast, right? But you're going to be able to get there maybe twice the time I spent. But you'll get there eventually. Maybe I went at 100 because my car can do 100, because I'm able to afford a car that can do it. That's good for me, but it doesn't mean that you that are going at 50 kilometers per hour cannot get there. You will still get there, maybe a bit of time and you're patient, but you will get there. The ultimate thing is that we're getting to our destination, and whatever we set to be our destination, when we get there, we're happy that we're there. So we need to have the required disposition. We need to be grateful. We need to be grateful for everything we get. We need to be grateful that people have time to speak to us, whether it's LinkedIn, whether we send someone like hi and person gives a response. I'm not saying that we're beggars, right? We have our self-respect, but we need to also acknowledge that people have other things they're doing. So when we come with the heart of gratitude, knowing that we shouldn't burden people, that way it's easy to get people who will really be willing to help us. And like I said, a lot of people are struggling with things that we don't know. So we need to be grateful when we get any help we can, we ask for. So that way we always look at things with a heart of gratitude. And as we're receiving help, we need to give back. Just like this now, many of the persons on this call can decide, so okay, what else can they do? You can decide to give back to the society, right? You can decide to maybe organize personally, give back to people in secondary school or to peers or to the community or something. We need to be able to give back. The good thing about giving back is, while it's good for our psyche, for people that want to go to graduate school and do other things, it's also good. It shows that they're able to provide, to serve the community. They can demonstrate leadership abilities. So it's a win-win situation. We're giving back. We're genuinely helping people out. And we're doing it because we love to help them. And maybe the excited acknowledges it, or maybe not. But the point is, we have that mind that we've given back. We've made someone's life richer. And that in itself is a reward. The Bible, okay, forgive me, we'll just go to it. I know a lot of people might not be people that, you know, use the Bible for their reference. But the point is, the Bible mentions that there's more happiness in giving than there is in receiving. So it's same in principle of life. When we give, we feel that rush of happiness. I know we do. We give someone money, the person thanks, we feel happy. So there's genuinely more happiness when we give. So as we're getting the support we need to be open to giving back. So we need to see success as a collection of things. We need to get inspiration, inspire others, or be inspired. We need to reach out for mentorship, decide who are men. Sometimes we don't need to know our men. Sometimes I've had to be mentored by people I don't know. Honestly, I don't know them, but I reach out to them. And one nice place to reach out to mentor is the SP mentorship program. You know, if you sign up, you can see someone that you like, and then you match yourself, request to match with the person. So you see, prospective mentors will sign up and they will say they are willing to mentor, and you see prospective mentees will sign up. So if you sign up, you can be matched. There are some rules, right? The important thing I want to mention is when you have a mentor, a coach, please let's not ask for money from them. Thank you. Please, money has a way of adjusting the relationship. It has a way of changing the dynamics. Please, we can ask for support we can ask for information. I'm not saying it's not good to get money from people, but I'm saying let's not ask for help. Let's not ask for money. Because when you ask for money, it changes dynamics. People might withdraw into their shell. Not everybody wants to do giveaway. And not everybody has that money. Or not everybody wants, because once a professional doesn't think it's quite professional to be asked to give money. So I'm a student and I meet someone at SD, and what he's expecting of me, maybe things like a internship position, even if he doesn't have a place to give, he might not have a place, he might have someone, he might have information of someone who is looking for an intern. Or he might say, okay, these people typically have the internship position at this time. He can give information like that. Maybe he will not have a place ready to give us, right? But if we go and say, please give me money, then the person decides to give us money if we want money, if he thinks we need money. But if we start saying, please give me money, please give me money, it changes dynamics and we can't take it back. There are some things that once they leave our mouth, they can't come back. So let's sort of be careful about that. Then whose examples are we looking up to? And what sort of example are we also showing other people in society? And we also need some bit of teamwork. If there are people who are pursuing the same goals as I am, maybe someone in my master's class, sometimes we need to work together. So we decide to be good team players, willing to put our best to deliver the result that will make the team go forward. Let's not be the people that will be in a team and we don't want to pull our weight. It also eliminates people. So let's be people that want to work hard. We might not have all the answers, but let's demonstrate that we have very good work ethics. And we need people that will teach us, and we also need to teach others. And like I said, goals, vision, motivation. So all of this keep us energized. And not forgetting what was said earlier, passion. All of this is wrapped up in passion. What do I want to achieve? What do I want to do? And the passion is what pushes us. It's what comes from within. It's not about me telling myself, or someone telling me, Judith, you need to go to class tomorrow. No, I need to know that I need to go to class. I want to pass a course. So I need to motivate myself from within. So all of this I've said is sort of a way to, continue reminding us what we already know. And I really want to thank you. And I might have said things out of overzealousness. Please, if I see something that didn't take quite well, kindly accept my apologies. But I'm hoping that you get the spirit of what I said. And I'm hoping that we've had a good time. So thank you very much. And any questions? So let me just show the references. So most of the pictures I showed are from Google. So I put the references here so that we will not be guilty of plagiarism. So thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Casey, back to you.
Thank you very much. Judith, I think we still have a moderator, Promise. She would be able now to get questions from the chat box. I think you have quite a few, but very nice talk. Thank you very much. Promise, are you there? Promise, are you there? Okay, you are muted. Okay, I've asked you to unmute now.
Okay, thank you very much. Um, I'm sure everyone learned a lot from that session. Judith, I hope everyone can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Thank you very much, Engineer Judith, for that amazing session. So now we'll be taking the questions and answers. So please, if you have any question, kindly drop it in the chat box. I'll be reading out the questions from there. Please type your question. We have just a few minutes for this whole question and answer segment.
I think there are some questions already inside the chat, but since there are so many messages that were also shared along,
okay,
it's quite something.
Okay, so I will just read the first question I can see here. Someone is asking, Raphael is asking, please, how can I switch career from library and information technology to software engineering MSc?
Thank you very much. So the good thing I've come to see about first degree is that we don't get to study what we use ultimately, but it shows that we have ability to learn. So the question is, do you want the software you want to do? Do you want that study to be a continuation of the library science? So first of all is to understand, do you want to find a solution, something that will help library science, or do you want to go, all the way out of library science? Because let me give an example. For example, as a well engineer, I know, okay, we have loads of data and all of that. If I do a science, they say data science, I say, okay, I can do data science that will help optimize well engineering performance. So that means with my well engineering experience, I will start looking for relevant, information or relevant technologies that would enhance my field of study or my field of operation. And the option is, if you're doing library science, you ask, okay, what are the current practices in library science? What is it like? Are you already working in it, or it's your first degree? So if the first degree is okay, what's the practice like? What's the future? How is the industry of library science now? What are the problems? What are the limitations? If I want to do data science or I want to do something about programming, what's the problem am I looking to solve? So that requires a bit of maybe going to do literature review, trying to look for conferences. If there's library science conference, you might want to sign on or join and see. Most times at conferences, they discuss current realities confronting that industry. So those conferences will help open up your mind. So if you want to pursue your software or your programming science in that line, it helps you to know what problem you actually solve for that field. But if you want to do something totally outside, it's still okay. So the question is, now you want to do data science. So the question is, when you want to do data science, what do you do programming, then what sort of industry do you want to support, or you want to learn it across? But sometimes people learn programming in particular industry. So I think it's about knowing what problems you want to solve. So it starts out that way. So knowing the problems you want to solve, you now know what sort of tools you need to solve it. If you need to go to programming, if you need to go and take an MSc. So I know this lady, she's doing data science and machine engineering as her master's. You might know her. So the thing is, for her, she's seen that data science might be the future, and she wants to do engineering as first degree. So somehow she's trying to combine both of them. So she has a dual degree. So at the end of the day, with that data science, you can either decide to continue as an engineer, data science, or you can just totally branch out data science. So the point is deciding what exactly you want to solve and pursuing that. You can decide to use the new skills you want to acquire to provide solutions to where you are already, or you can use the new skills to provide solutions to another industry, another business. So the sky is the limit. There are a lot of free software. You can even start with, I think there's Udemy, right? There's Udemy and you have EX. You have a lot of free, not really free, you have a lot of places you can take courses to enrich your skills. So yes, you can also reach out to someone who is already in the field you want to go. In fact, one of the best things to do is if you want to cross over to a new field, try and reach out to people who are already there, try to have some with them so you can pick up some things and then know sort of certifications you need before you cross over. So that way you'll be crossing over, like people that want to do finance, say you're doing something engineering, want to finance, you know, okay, I need a CFA 1, CFA 2, CFA 3. So you continue with engineering. While you're engineering, what sort of skills do you pick up engineering that can help you in your finance? Maybe it's engineering finance, maybe it's accounting, maybe it's, you know, plan and all that. Then now, so for me to do finance, I need to do CFA 1, CFA 2, CFA 3. And then what I need to do, start going to those boot camps, start taking the courses and all that. So by the time you get research certification, the idea of certification is to help you bridge the gap. So, and when you're taking certification, you might see some things you learn in engineering that would help you. Because, for example, engineering students have had to do project finance sometime in engineering. So all of those things, try to see the skills you have that can transfer to the next position. You don't always, I don't believe that what you've learned, you need to throw it away. No. Library science might have something, might even have things like that can help you. I don't know exact details of library science, but you can have things that can help you in your newfound, in your newfound passion. So try to always see that item you take across. It's called transferable skill. Just always think transferable skill everywhere. Even if it's community service you're doing, even if it's just something, it may just be leadership skill. Knowledge is continuous. Let's not think it's broken up. It's continuous. You take one thing and then we extrapolate it. We just keep going. So by the time we're able to build, we build on what we've learned and then we learn new things and then. So I hope this, if anybody has something else to add to it, by all means. But
yes.
Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Engineer Judith. That was exhaustive. So someone asked, how can we refuel our passion?
Okay, thank you. I agree. Sometimes passion can wane, right? Depending on societal pressures. Maybe we'll think that we spend too long in this school. People are hammering left and right. So one of the ways to refuel passion is to be in the midst of people who are passionate, just like this. Everybody is passionate for the same thing. It just keep having that constant conversation. I think it's about people we surround ourselves with, right? Sometimes we are with people who deplete our passion. Not really in a bad way. Maybe their own focus is slightly different from what one of them. Maybe someone that is not so in graduate school and we keep talking about graduate school. The person we're talking contrary to it, and at some point we keep fighting, and at some point we just give up. So if we want to refuel our passion, first of all, we confront to ourselves, why do we really want to go with this passion? If we think our goals are valid, if we think there are things we want to do, then let's focus on them. Then we look for a community that will support us, a community that is like-minded, and that helps us. Even when we feel down, we see people are making strides, we keep following them, and we keep trying to give back. Let's actively stay connected with like-minded people through this organization or through professional bodies, and that's why people volunteer. Like I said, people volunteer constantly because when you volunteer, it sort of keeps you always in the mix and you're busy doing something. You can even do things as simple as volunteering to go and talk to the students, right? One of the campaigns we did was to go to secondary school and talk to students about being in STEM. So it might not be SP, it can just be any professional body. Anyway, try to give back. Like when you're giving back, you're engaged. And when you're engaged, your passion is sustained and you most likely are in a circle of people who are like-minded. So, yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Engineer Judith. So the summary is be in a circle of people who are also passionate. So thank you so much, guys. I can't see any other question in the chat session, so we'll be handing over to Doctor to give us the vote of thanks. Doctor, you have the floor.
Yes, I would have to share my screen again. So let me start by saying, Judy, thank you very much. Before I dropped the request that she would give a talk, she already said yes. I think this also comes down to what you gave in your presentation, right? About building relationship. We've known for a very long time, and I think we lost contact for a very long time. And somehow I knew that I wanted to have you in this presentation. So it looks like we are both already looking for each other. So it's nice that we connected again. And thank you for your selfless service. Thank you for your very nice talk. We appreciate it at Dekemp. Like you said, the only way that we can ensure and promote and support and give back is right, like doing what we are doing now. I mean, it's quite important. And you're already doing something like that already in your own area. So thank you very much. We have this token from us, from Dekemp to you to appreciate you for taking out the time. So we have an award for you. I will read out what the award says. So this is from Dr. Casey Mentorship Platform. It's a honorary award presented to Engineer Judith George for her commitment and support towards empowering and inspiring young people to achieve professional aspiration this day, the 31st of July, 2021. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Yeah, I've asked you to unmute now.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm very, very proud to be here. And I'm very proud of you. Forgive me. Thank you very much. I think you've come a very long time. Thank you. This is very fantastic. I'm happy you're taking time and effort to do this. This is something that's born out of passion and it can't be overemphasized. And I'm really happy and excited that so many young people, so many men and women are signing on and they are pulling their weight behind it. And I think we need a lot more of this. Thank you very much. I'm seeing this go places. And for God, I'll be happy to support in any way I can.
Yes, absolutely. We'll be bringing you back. For sure, we'll be bringing you back. Thank you very much. I'll hand back now to Promise to round up.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, thank you so much, Engineer Judith. Thanks, Doctor. So, yes. So tomorrow is a semi-final and we're all looking forward to it. It's going to be a very amazing session again. And the great thing about tomorrow, one of the great things that will happen tomorrow is that the winners of our Dekemp at 2 challenge will be announced. So, to get into Dekemp, to the KC mentorship platform, we need to have completed a 30 days commitment challenge. And the winners will not have to go through that those 30 days, the usual 30 days.
I don't know why all of you always come and say that they will not go through the 30 days challenge. They would go through the 30 days challenge because that's the only way you can convince me that you are worth my time for sure, but they will not have to pay the commitment fee, which is what you lose if you do not complete the challenge. So all of you guys always, do you want me to cancel the 30 days challenge? Is that what you guys are trying to achieve? No, but yes, we would select them tomorrow. And then this is the agenda. This is day 6. Tomorrow is day 7. We are starting earlier tomorrow. It will be from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. And so thank you all.
Thank you, Doctor.
And thank you very much, Promise, and to everyone. I will leave now, and please stay back to make sure you take your attendance. Okay, Judith, we are going to catch up later.
All right, thank you very much. Bye.
All right. Bye, everyone. Good night.